Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is your boy Logan.
What up, y'all? It's Jake.
Hola, niños. It's Sling.
We are back another week, another pod. Some good games over the weekend and the previous midweek games in Europe, games in the Premier League. But before we jump into all that, what y'all boys get into this weekend?
Well, I actually kind of had an eventful weekend. I had both days off, so that was cool.
It's always nice.
Worked out, went grocery shopping, and my debit card information got stolen by somebody and cleared out my fucking bank account. So your boy has $0 right now. That's what's up.
Drop the Venmo for
Slow
the
ass.
Anybody that wants to donate, holla at your boy.
need to GoFundMe or some shit.
Yeah, sell my body on the streets.
Yeah, I saw you out there at one of the corners in the city. You were kind of begging for money and food and shit. And
Logan's about to slide him $1 low key. He was like, "Hey, what's up with
I
you?"
got some loose change. Here you go. Get yourself some gum.
What about you, Sling? What you been up to?
I went to Birmingham. Went to Topgolf.
Okay.
That was really it, man.
Hey, Topgolf is fun though.
Topgolf. I've never been to Topgolf.
It's definitely worth
Something
it.
I need to go do.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the closest one to here is. It might be Birmingham. Maybe Jacksonville.
No, there's I want to say there's one down south in Florida. Oh, okay. Well, actually, that might be a little
Yeah.
away. Maybe Pensacola or PCB might have. No, not PCB.
I don't think they do. Maybe Tallahassee has. I don't know. Something I need to do in the future, though.
Closest. It's not that far.
Would you just hung out in Birmingham for a day or so?
Yeah, we actually went to the zoo. We only got to see like half the animals because I guess they were a little too chilly. But
Damn, that sucks.
lame as hell. I saw a rhino like fart or something. That was kind of cool.
That's what's up.
The snow finally clear out where
Dude,
you're at?
all that ice is finally gone. It took
Finally
like a week
gone.
to melt out, but
Damn.
it's finally gone.
Yeah, we didn't get shit here. It was just the cold for like a few days, and
Cold and some rain.
Yeah.
But no ice, no snow. So before we get into the weekend action and midweek action, we want to touch first on some things that have been going around on social media. Racial abuse to players, especially in the Premier League, has become a big thing. I know from just an Arsenal perspective, just recently over the past week or so, Eddie Nketiah came out and said that he was receiving racial abuse. Willian was receiving racial abuse on Instagram through like DMs and things like that. He actually posted screenshots of it. And I mean, this isn't something that's new. I'm sure it's been happening forever. There's been plenty of instances in the past, especially at your old club, Chelsea.
Drogba
At the ground. Like,
oh yeah,
people have gotten banned for racial abuse and all. But obviously with social media so big nowadays, it's
the Italian striker. What was his name? Balotelli.
Oh, yeah.
Especially.
I mean,
yeah.
Lukaku's gotten plenty of racial abuse in Italy as well.
Yeah.
But especially with social media now and how pretty much anyone can just hide behind any account. You don't have to like prove identity or anything like that. Anyone can say anything. They can get on a burner account. Nobody will know it's you. It's definitely become a problem in sports and especially in the Premier League. What are kind of y'all's thoughts in those situations?
All right. Well, first off, I just want to lay down my ground opinion on this, and it's that if you're going to talk like that and act like that, and that's your genuine thought process towards a person of a different color or ethnicity, you are scum of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just profiling a person based off of their looks, and that's how you're going to treat them. Go fuck yourself. Like that, it's not acceptable. You are a shitty person. I mean, that's just my upfront thought process on that.
And it's even more cowardly if you're doing it like behind like a screen, no profile picture. Your profile picture is an egg, or it's a picture of a random athlete or whatever.
Yeah, that's so fucking that's so pussy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sling, what about you, man?
For me, it's like, if you're just gonna sit there and, like you said, like if you're just gonna troll through a phone, like what is the point? Like, I don't really know what these trolls are. That's all they are. They're trolls. Like, I don't understand what these trolls are getting at.
And there's
Like,
different levels of trolling too. Like some fun, like friendly banter and stuff. That's fine, but like personal shots and obviously racism in this circumstance. It's just I wonder who these people are. I have a feeling it's probably little kids that think that they're funny when they're not, and
It's all about
they
clout.
really need to grow up a
it's
little bit.
definitely like middle school boys that have like nothing better to do after school. And they
Is
just
there
get on.
anything that like y'all think that these social media like apps and everything? Is there anything they can do to like help prevent this? Because I know like obviously when a player gets a message like that, he can block and report them. And then if you report them in the Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, whatever you're on, sees that message, then that account will get banned. But then what that person will do is they'll just make another account and do the same thing until they get banned on that, and then just keep doing it over and over again. It's like I don't know. Is this just one of the consequences of social media? Because like I don't know if there's
I,
really anything
I,
that can be done, to be honest, besides people just growing up themselves.
I definitely think it is just a consequence of like the day and age that we live in of technology, where like anyone can get their hands on it whenever they want, and anyone can put out what they want to say. Uh, they say that the internet though is it's written in ink, not in pen or pencil. So it's like you can say what you want to say, like that's what it's there for. But I mean, all these people and these trolls, like they're gonna have to live with the consequences eventually in the future. So
So,
like
yeah, if somebody like finds their IP address or whatever, or traces their burner account back to their main account or whatever. Obviously not on the
exactly,
same like level, but like when Kevin Durant was on his burner account a couple years ago and they traced it
he
back to
still
his main
has some of
account,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
he still gets shit over that. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind of
I
it's
mean,
just it's almost like it's sad, but it's like
it's
I
kind
guess
of
it's
inevitable.
yeah, it's kind of a part of the of how it is nowadays.
And it sucks that that's how it is because, social media shouldn't be, that's not what its use should be for. It should be a more positive aspect, but you're going to have those people that because they have this platform to be able to, shit on certain players
Yeah,
and, talk bad about them. And then you bring in race and all this stuff. I
and
mean,
these people think they're untouchable and everything
yeah,
too.
exactly. A keyboard warrior.
So
I don't
yeah,
know. It's tough, man, and that's why a lot of the successful athletes end up cutting out social
yeah.
media completely because it's just toxic and
They'll
it fucks with your mental state.
they'll hire people to deal with that stuff for them, and then
Yeah,
say, "Hey, I'm going to pay you this much money. Look at these messages and
make
report
sure
and
I
block them."
don't see any
Exactly.
of this
Don't tell me
shit.
about what you saw. Just get rid of them, report and block them if you
Yeah,
need to. And so yeah, that's it's kind of the way of the road right now, which is pretty sad. But I mean, I don't know if there's really much that these companies can do about it at all. I mean, at the end of the day, these should be used for freedom of speech. Obviously, that's not how it should be used in that way. But um, like, I don't think
there's
there's
only
anything
so
that
much you can do
yeah,
with the amount of
it's
stuff that
sad, but it's
happens
almost
every
like it
day.
becomes a part of the job. As shitty as that sounds, yeah,
I
that's just
mean,
how it
it's
is.
just
And I know.
like
Go ahead.
I mean, it's like Xbox Live parties and everything. Like you can only do so much to monitor like what these people are saying and like how they're interacting with other people. So it's
Well,
not
at
even
some point,
just like
should these people like? I mean, these athletes. I know Burton Leno. He came out and said like a week or so ago that someone told him that he had a bad game. I think this might have been like dating back to last season. Um, I think it might have been against Chelsea or whatever, where he didn't play very well. He was at fault for a goal that let them back into the game. And then after the game, he got on social media. He had a message that said, "Do it like Inke or NK," which is a German goalkeeper in the past that killed himself from depression and everything. And so basically, that person just told him to kill himself because he had a bad game. And then Leno saw that and was like, "Yeah, I don't need this. I don't need this anymore." And he just got off of social media altogether. I mean,
And even though that has nothing to do with race, per se,
yeah, that's still
even
just as
like
bad, pretty
just
much.
telling someone to fucking kill themselves,
Yeah,
I mean, that's literally that's just as bad, if not worse. I
yeah.
mean, honestly, to tell somebody to take their life because they had a bad game, like literal scum of the earth.
it's
That's like
just toxic.
back when
Like
the Colombian defender in the World Cup
When
had
he
the own
literally got
goal,
killed.
and he got killed because of
Yeah, he was like at fault, had like an own goal or some shit in the World Cup, and people in Colombia literally hunted him down and killed him
it.
for it.
That's so
At least that's not happening, but still, this is still
yeah.
it's not good for the sport. It's
It's just a bad look.
yeah, it's just a bad look overall, bad optics.
I think at the
Sir?
end of the day, people just need to realize that like it's just a game. Like it's gonna be okay. Everyone's lives are gonna go on after this. It's not gonna be upset or mad about it, but like the racism over like DMs and the trolling and saying that you should kill yourself or like giving someone death threats, like it's
I
just a
don't know how
game.
someone can be that. Like, I'm a very passionate sports fan, and like I'll get mad at certain players, obviously. But how can you ever get that mad to like want to be racist towards someone or want to tell someone to kill themselves? Or is it just people just thinking that they're funny by doing it? Little kids or immature adults that think that it's somehow funny to be racist towards an athlete or tell them to harm themselves.
All of the above.
Yeah, it's I don't know what's going to do. I just thought we would touch on that, give our thoughts, and yeah, it's hopefully something that gets better in the future. I mean, these people they've got to grow up, and maybe there's some kind of measures that can be taken to figure out who these people are and stop them in the future.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we'll move on now to the football. Let's move on to the recap from this past week in the Big Six. And Jake, you want to start us off with Chelsea, who only played one game this week.
Yeah, we only had one game, and it was definitely not the result that I wanted or expected.
What y'all had 4 straight W's, and Southampton had 6 straight losses.
Yeah, on paper it's like, oh, this should be a win for us somewhat easily, and it turns out that it was not. We ended up making a mistake in the back, and our 2 center backs left too wide of a gap and left what was his name, Minamino.
Minamino, he's the guy on loan from Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, he just split the gap and had a free pathway to the goal. And, when you have a chance like that, you're going to slot it away. Granted, we did end up getting a penalty in the 54th minute, and my boy Mason Mount put it away to help us get the draw back in there. So that was, we definitely needed that. Definitely can't go to Southampton and come out of there with an L. So at least we got 1 point out of it. Unfortunately, I would have rather gotten the W, and because of that, West Ham actually ended up jumping us in the table. So now they're in 4th, we're in 5th. But once again, we dominated possession, 71% to 29, like we usually do. We're a possession team. We had more shots on target, better pass accuracy. I mean, we just dominated the game, and then we had that one fuck up that
that's the types of margins of error that lose you games or decide games in the Premier League.
Yeah, so that's tough, but it's whatever. On to the next.
So Liverpool. Move on to them. They finally bounced back, got something to go their way during the midweek against Leipzig. Got a good 2-0 victory against them. A good victory for them. I said last week that, look, with how bad they're doing in the league, it's pretty much time for them to put in all their eggs in one basket for the Champions League. And obviously a good start beating Leipzig 2-0. But then back to reality in the Premier League at the weekend, the big Merseyside derby. And Everton beat Liverpool, I think, at Liverpool for the first time, I believe it's since 1999.
Yeah, they said this was like their 4th home loss in a row.
After not losing. They hadn't lost a game at home since 2017, I believe.
Yeah,
and now they've lost 4 in a row.
Yeah, but 4 in a row at home. It goes back to early.
It was like 1926, right? Yeah. I saw that on the
That's
podcast.
Fucking wild, dude.
They've almost just, and they're just falling off the cliff, I guess. But hey, they got the big win in the midweek. But yeah, Everton. I mean, I watched that game, watched some of that game, and then I watched the full highlights of it as well. And I mean, it wasn't really an undeserved Everton win. I mean, they looked like the better side. They had more like clear-cut opportunities.
Yeah, Richarlison's been looking very clinical for them too. I think.
He's picked up his form lately.
And then Calvert-Lewin ended up coming on in the second half, I believe, and ended up drawing a penalty on a counterattack.
I have to speak on that penalty. Did y'all see the penalty?
Yeah.
Where Alexander-Arnold was sliding in, but didn't hit Calvert-Lewin, and then it was Calvert-Lewin kicked the ball off of Alisson, made the save, but then it bounced back to the side.
Yeah.
And Calvert-Lewin kind of went to go for the ball, and Alexander-Arnold was obviously in his way, and he kind of just tripped over Alexander-Arnold. I mean, I guess you could say that's a penalty. It didn't really seem
like. Can you make the argument that Alexander-Arnold was playing the ball? obviously you wanted to block the shot, but when you don't touch it and then you still slide and you're in the way of that attacker, it's kind of like
Yeah, but like for me, it's like he was already there. Like Calvert-Lewin ran into him, which obviously is in the way of the ball. But like I don't know what they want Alexander Arnold to do while he's just on the ground in that situation. Going to like barrel roll out of the way or whatever.
it showed that he was also kind of like kicking his legs, and that when he was
that probably is what did
contact.
it. But then okay, another question though that I have in that situation is that was behind Allison, so it's a free shot on goal if Calvert-Lewin gets that ball, which he would have if he didn't run into Alexander. Why he didn't even get a yellow card? How is it? That should be a red card. I mean, he didn't make a play on the ball. He completely took him out to deny a goal scoring opportunity, and they didn't even give him a yellow card. He should have gotten a red, in my opinion. So
I mean, that's the double standard though that's been going on with the refs.
Yeah, just the inconsistencies, man. It's just bad, and you see it every single game almost.
Yeah,
in a big game like that. So, but obviously, it didn't end up coming to bite Everton on the ass. Sigurdsson, I believe, is the one who put away that penalty to let them go up 2-0, and then they held on for the rest of the game.
And I just want to throw in there, Pickford played a hell of a game for
he made
Everton.
A couple really nice saves.
He had a very solid outing.
He's still trying to amend for his mishap a couple years ago when he just inexplicably kept the ball in play right onto Origi's head for that winner in the Merseyside derby a couple years ago. So, but anyway, so yeah, Liverpool. I mean, where are they at in the league now? Are they? Yeah, they're sixth in the league. They're level on points with Everton, and Everton have a game in hand. I mean, they could very well finish outside of the not only top four, but maybe even the top six at this point. It has been a rough run for Liverpool in the league lately. All right, well, let's move on to some teams that played in the Europa League this week. Spurs kicked it off against Wolfsberger. Once again, the team that we didn't even really know existed until last week. I did not watch the game live, but I did catch highlights of it. And Wolfsberger, they look like a very, very bad football team. Like they were just not good. They struggled to put passes together. They looked very unorganized. I'm wondering how bad their group must have been for them to make it through to the knockout stages of the Europa League. And yeah, Spurs really kind of. With that being said, though, I think Wolfsberger hit the post twice, so very easily. I mean, if that's a few inches in the right direction, it could have been a 4-3 result instead of a 4-1 result. But Spurs took care of business, and it looks like they kind of got the job done in the first leg, and they can kind of relax in the second leg, especially with that leg being at home too. And they should be moving on. And then Spurs at the weekend, they once again took an L in the Premier League. That is now 4 out of their last 5 games in the Premier League, they have caught an L. West Ham took care of them. West Ham, a team that has been on just a great run of form this season, fully exceeding expectations. They've already exceeded their points total from last season. Currently, they're in the top 4 now, with Chelsea dropping points to Southampton at the weekend. But yeah, a 2-1 W for West Ham, and Spurs continue to falter in the league. And I mean, they just don't look like a very good team, to be honest, at this point.
Yeah,
I watched them play several times recently, and they genuinely just don't look like a good side. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Small relegation club.
Small club. West Ham in that game, Jesse Lingard ended up putting one in the back of the net. He's actually
that dude has revived his career.
Good addition to West Ham. So I guess
I thought his career was dead, and he moved to West Ham, and he's revived it again.
Yeah,
I told you Lingard's made a good sign for them.
Yeah, sometimes you just need some new scenery. And that's worked out well for him. So let's move on to another team that basically took care of business in the first leg, and that is United against Real Sociedad. A 4-0 win. I watched that game. Sociedad had several opportunities early in the game to take a lead, and they didn't take their chances. And then at the end of the day, United made them pay for it, coming out with a 4-0 victory, and that's pretty much wrapped up for them. Wrapped up that leg, or that round of 32 tie for them. Just like Spurs, they pretty much wrapped it up in the first leg, and then at the weekend, United got back on track in the Premier League after a couple of draws. They go and beat Newcastle 3-1, pretty much handled that game.
Newcastle had a few opportunities to where they could have made it a little bit closer than 3-1. But United definitely looked like the better team in that game. Rashford had, oh my God, he absolutely abused Newcastle's right back on one run. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if he megged him, but
So they get for letting go of my boy Yedlin.
yeah, no, he put a move on him and blew by him, but then the left or right back caught back up to him and tried tackling him in the box, and Rashford just blew right by him again and then slotted it away in the bottom left corner of near post. And then James scored the second goal for United. Once again, near post. He had all the time in the world to line it up. It was, going to be hard for him to miss that one. And then Penandez puts in the third goal, so that was good. And then St. Maximin scored for Newcastle. Actually, a pretty decent goal.
Yeah. Penandez getting his penalty, met his
quota.
Yeah, met his quota for the day. So yeah, United get back on track in the Premier League, and they are still in second place, level with Leicester on points, but ahead of them in goal differential. So next we have, before we get into the Arsenal and Man City game from the weekend, we'll touch on their games. In the midweek, City they were not in Europe this week. They had the week off from Europe, but they ended up playing Everton in the league. Before the weekend, they got a 3-1 dub against Everton. Was actually, honestly, like a halfway decent game. I watched some of it, but City or City, and they were able to come away with a 3-1 victory in that game. And meanwhile, Arsenal the next day, they played Benfica in the Europa League. And, just not – while you saw United and Spurs take care of business in Europa League and pretty much wrap up their ties in the first leg, Arsenal did not. They drew 1-1. It was a terrible game.
Pathetic coward.
It was a horrible game. It looked like we were in like first or second gear the whole game. Aubameyang, I don't even know what was wrong with him in that game. Obviously the game before against Leeds, he had scored a hat trick, and so we were on the pod here talking about, okay, yeah, is he finding his form again? Going to get the old Aubameyang back, and then he that was one of the worst striker performances I've seen in an Arsenal shirt. I'm not exaggerating. Since Giroud and just completely shit the bed against Monaco back, what was that, 2014, 2015, something like that. I mean, I don't know how he misses that tap in at the beginning of the game. I genuinely, that's just one of those awful misses. And then besides that, he had another shot that he should have scored that he put wide. Another time he was through on goal on his left foot and was like, nah, screw this. I'm going to cut back onto my right foot. And because he did that, the defender was able to catch up to him and put in a tackle. So, yeah, not a good game from him at all. Obviously, Benfica got in my opinion, kind of a little bit of a dodgy handball penalty. I mean, the dude literally just kicks it right onto Smith Rowe's arm from like 2 yards away. There's nothing Smith Rowe can even do about that. And actually, I've watched the replay a few times, and I'm not sure that it didn't hit Smith Rowe's chest first and then bounce up onto his arm. But anyways, I got the penalty. They went up 1-0. Like a switch kind of flipped for our players, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe let's try now. And within 3 minutes, they equalized through Bukayo Saka. And then after that, they're like, all right, yeah, we got our away goal. It's 1-1. Let's just chill. Let's just chill. We'll finish it off next week. So not a good result for Arsenal. 1-1 against Benfica. Now they have it all to do this upcoming week to keep their season alive, because that's really about the only thing they're playing for now is the Europa League. But then, so move on to the weekends between Arsenal and Man City, and early goal did the Gunners in. What do you think about that, Sling?
Pain.
Spain without the S.
The fact that we played them that close and that well all game, and like that stupid little blunder was.
So we have
difference.
A 6'4" center back in Pablo Mari. We have a 6'2" center back in Rob Holding, and the 5'7" guy Raheem Sterling is the one that wins the header in the box to score. That's just that is beyond frustrating. That was such bad defending. It's like it was basically the same as the Aston Villa game. We gave up a really early goal off of a mistake, and then we weren't able to do anything from that. City kind of dominated the possession. I don't think it was actually too bad. It was like maybe like 58% for City, 42% for Arsenal. But I thought after that goal, I was actually probably the first 10 minutes of the game, because I think City kind of just came out and blitzed us in those first 10 minutes. But after those first 10 minutes, I thought we played all right. but I was waiting for, like, in the 70th, 75th minute, give it a go. Go try and score. Go pour numbers forward. I'd rather lose 2-0 than not even go for it and lose 2-1. I mean, lose 1-0. And so that was really my only, besides the mistake that led to their goal, that was really my only main gripe. I thought we did all right. I thought we were pretty good in the defensive third and the middle third as well. We just couldn't get that. We couldn't get that final pass or even that second to last pass right in the final third. I mean, our forwards were feeding off scraps. There was nothing, no kind of service for them whatsoever. Basically, once we passed that halfway line, City pretty much just suffocated us with the ball, and there was nothing we could really do. And so City continued their win streak. I believe that was 18 wins in a row for them. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion at this point. They're 10 points clear of United and Leicester at the top. I don't think anybody sees them faltering. And it's only a matter of time until they are crowned champions for the third time in 4 years. So what does that do? I believe you made a little bit of a comeback, Sling, in the weekly picks. Is that correct?
I made a pretty epic comeback here in the last week. We are all now tied. We're all even on points.
Jeez.
I want to say,
coming down to the nitty gritty.
I want to say Jake was in the lead. He had I think you both had 2 points on me. You guys,
yeah, we were
8.
tied with 2 points ahead of you. Yeah,
I had 8, and it was actually the United Newcastle game this week that helped me get there. I had the perfect result there.
I mean, a blind dog finds its bone every once in a while, so got kind of lucky there.
And that's crazy. That's crazy.
We're just giving you hope right now.
Me and you have the same amount of correct, perfect results, Logan. Jake is the only one that had 2. So,
I mean, did I ask though? That's the thing that I have to.
I mean, I'm telling you.
So we're down to our last week. We have the games during the midweek and the weekend, and then we'll see who came out on top with the picks, and more importantly, who came out on bottom, who came in last with the picks for the month of February. So
might need to find a tiebreaker in there. Never know.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know what we're going to do if it's tied because it's very, very tight right now. After what? I mean, we've picked probably 25, 30 games, and we're all level on points. I don't know if I would have expected this to happen. But it makes it interesting for this last week.
I will say this. Jake has the most, perfect scores.
Which means he's low-key Poe because he got more games wrong than he just got bailed out by the perfect scores.
Which means that I'm literally on different wavelengths up here, and you guys just can't keep up. I don't know.
I mean, we are level on points. So.
Yeah, you have more perfect scores, and we're still at level with you on points. So explain that.
It sounds to me like we're all level on points, so not much to explain there.
All right.
Interesting.
Well, this is the part of the pod where we take a break from Premier League talk and we get into the U.S. men's national team rundown about how our Yanks abroad did over the past week.
Yes, sir. All right, so we're going to kick it off over in England. Dwayne Holmes for
Derby County?
Derby County. Yeah, that's right. I couldn't remember the team. He scores actually a brace against Swansea in their win. I believe they won that game 4-1. It was never really close. Derby dominated that whole game, but he showed up and put 2 in the back of the net, so that's cool.
And then speaking of Swansea.
On the flip side of that, Jordan Morris had just gone on loan to Swansea, along with Paul Arriola, and we were hoping maybe Jordan Morris could kind of not start his career, but get that experience over in England.
I mean, it's something U.S. men's national teams have been wanting him to do for 5-6 years now, is to make that move to Europe and kind of prove himself and improve as a player over there.
And he finally gets over there, and in that same game goes down with a knee injury, and we're pretty sure that it's a torn ACL on the same leg that he tore his ACL earlier in his career. So
yeah, that just sucks.
That's not a good thing for...
And I mean, with him only being on loan until the end of the season at Swansea, I mean, that's probably...
It's hard to see them...
maybe they'll move in for another loan for him, but I mean, I don't know if that'll happen. I doubt they're going to want to buy him now and he only had 4 or 5 appearances, and I think only like 2 of them were starts.
Yeah.
And so that's really tough for him. That sucks for him. Uh, life can be cruel at times, and that was a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
So prayers up for him. Hopefully he can recover from it and come back stronger.
Strong recovery, baby. And then his teammate Paul Arriola got an appearance for Swansea off the bench in that game. It's a good experience for him. Anthony Robinson going on into the Premier League. He played for Fulham in their 1-0 victory over Sheffield United. Once again, Fulham is a team that's trying to escape that relegation category, especially against a team that is also at the bottom of the relegation category. You got to come out with
got to get
right
those
there.
W's. Yeah,
and they did 1-0, so that's good for him.
They're moving. They're only 3 points behind Newcastle.
I'm telling you, bro, Newcastle's going down, dude.
They are. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, Fulham might have a chance to stay up. And I'm sorry to if there's any Newcastle Magpie fans that listen to this pod. No offense, but I would rather Newcastle be in the Premier League rather Fulham be in the Premier League than y'all. No offense.
Just because we got our American lad on the team.
Yeah, and then
Two
Newcastle, I'm
American lads.
not gonna lie, man. Under Steve Bruce, they literally just I hate the football that they play. They're so negative, and even their own fans say that they hate the football that they play too. So, but yeah, I wouldn't mind Fulham staying up. I don't want to see them. I don't like seeing teams that like just recently got promoted immediately go back down. That I don't know. Even though that's just the way the sport goes with relegation and promotion. But I would like to see Fulham stay up.
Yeah, no, so would I. But anyways,
they got Tim Ream on there too, although I don't think he really plays that much. But a couple Americans on the Fulham squad.
He's got mid, but he's still an American, so we'd like to see him in the Premier League. We're going to kick it over to the Austrian League. Brendan Aronson, he did not get credit for any assists in the game that he played, but he got 2 passes to the assists on 2 key goals to help Salzburg win in a 4-2 victory over Austria Wien, however you say that.
Wien, something like that.
One of those 2.
Yeah.
So, but no, a lot of people are saying that's one of the better games that they've seen him play. Even though he didn't get a goal or an assist, he was just one of those key players that.
He's played good so far for Salzburg. And Salzburg, even though that's obviously not a great league in Austria, they are one of those like clubs that will feed into big teams. We've seen it recently with Holland and Minamino going to Dortmund and Liverpool respectively. But yeah, hopefully he keeps it up. He's obviously being coached by Jesse Marsch, who is an American manager at Salzburg. And selfishly, as a U.S. men's national fan, would not mind Jesse Marsch being the national team coach sometime in the future. But hopefully he can grow and learn under Marsch's tutelage and keep putting in good performances. I think he also played in their Europa League game against Villarreal. He started in that game as well. They lost that game, unfortunately, but getting minutes, getting meaningful games, and whenever you're playing in Europe, a European competition, that's always good. So
yeah,
hopefully he can keep his run going.
Yep. And then leaving Austria, we're going to go into Turkey. Our boy DeAndre Yedlin has actually been putting in good games with Galatasaray.
The revival.
Yeah, no, maybe this is what he needed. But they ended up winning 1-0 at Alanyaspor.
Yeah,
once again, don't know how to say it.
Alanyaspor or something like that.
Yeah, one of those 2. He made his first league start for the club. He ended up crossing a ball 40 yards across the field, diagonal onto the foot of Imre Kilinic, I think that's how you say it. And unfortunately, he didn't put it away the first time, so Yedlin's not going to get the assist, but he got the rebound off of his missed shot and put it in. So personally, I'm going to give Yedlin the assist on that one. It was a great pass, led to the goal. It was basically the assist.
Yeah, obviously none of us watch the Turkish league. Nothing against the Turkish league, but I don't even think there is anywhere to watch it here in America. But there are some psycho U.S. men's national team fans that will follow every single player. And I saw a few of them on Twitter raving about the performance he had for Galatasaray at the weekend. So yeah, like I said, this is kind of his revival if he wants to stay in the national team picture. This is a really good way. He puts in good performances for Galatasaray, and he should be back in the national team squad.
Yeah, he could definitely be probably a good backup
Yeah.
wing back if we ever need one. Who knows?
And he can come in and do a job if needed.
Yeah. All right, leaving the Turkish league, we're going to go into the Bundesliga in Germany. Tyler Adams did what he does best in the RP Leipzig squad in their 3-1 victory over Hertha Berlin on Sunday. He ended up stealing a ball to set up RP Leipzig's second goal in their win. So once again, he's just putting out solid efforts. Tyler Adams is definitely going to be our key defensive midfielder, probably one of our two key defensive midfielders for the national team.
He's kind of like that. I've noticed watching him play. He's kind of got like a leadership characteristic to him too. He's always pretty loud on the pitch and
his motor too.
Yeah, he's unreal.
Just goes and goes.
Just goes and goes. It's a good bounce back for. I don't think he played. I thought he played pretty decent against Liverpool in the Champions League. He actually put through a ball. I forget who the striker was for Leipzig, but he put through a great ball, through ball that probably should have turned into a goal for Leipzig against Liverpool, but the striker didn't put it away. But Leipzig and Tyler Adams do bounce back from that loss to Liverpool in the Champions League with a W over Hertha Berlin.
Was it Galaxy, the striker for Leipzig?
No, Galaxy is he's their.
Or no, I mean Danny Olmo. Or Nkunku, maybe? I don't know.
It might have been Nkunku, yeah. Even though I think he's been a midfielder, but I think he's been playing striker a little bit for Leipzig this season. I think that that Wang Hee-chan or whatever might have came off the bench in that game. Did he?
I'm not sure.
Anyways, he put through a good ball for someone, and that someone didn't put it away, but he did his job in that situation.
Yeah, Wang Hee-chan did come on.
Okay, that might have been who it was for then, I think.
But anyways, staying in the Bundesliga, John Brooks. The wall of fucking Brooks is tall and strong, baby.
Wolfsburg are on a run right now.
I know. They are looking good. John Brooks is looking fucking fantastic. He racked up yet another clean sheet, while Wolfsburg extended its shutout streak to 7 games and 666 minutes in its 3-0 win over Arminia Bielefeld in the Bundesliga on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Bayern couldn't beat Bielefeld.
Yeah, I know, that's facts, dude. I guess,
Wolfsburg are just better. They're a superior team. But yeah, they're third in the league right now in Germany, and they're 5 points clear of fifth place, who's challenging for top 4. Obviously, Bayer Leverkusen. So they'd be dope to see them make the Champions League. Have another. We set records this year for the amount of Americans in the Champions League, as well as in the knockout stages too. Yeah. Maybe we could set another one next year if Wolfsburg is able to make it.
So yeah, John Brooks has definitely looked very in form. Going on to his U.S. men's national team, hopefully future partnership in Chris Richards. He actually squared off against our other American striker who's in the Bundesliga, Josh Sargent. They knocked heads literally and figuratively in Hoffenheim's 4-0 victory against Werder Bremen Sunday. They both went up for a ball in the air in the 43rd minute and kind of clashed heads. Turned out both of them were okay, but Richards is one of Hoffenheim's defenders that's on loan from Bayern. But, hopefully in the future, Brooks and Richards can link up and be that strong back wall for the U.S. men's national team going along in the future.
Yeah, good. It looks like Richards probably won that battle in that 4-0 victory
just a little bit
over Sargent. I kind of feel bad for Sargent. I've watched Werder Bremen play, and kind of like Hoppy at Schalke, like they are just like they don't create chances. They're both teams. They're so bad at creating chances, and when you're a striker deprived of chances, it's kind of hard to score because you can't just do it all on your own.
Yeah. Staying in Germany, we're going to go to Matthew Hoppy, another promising forward for us.
Another 4-0 loss for a U.S. men's national team striker.
Another 4-0 loss. But he, it was against Borussia Dortmund, and Schalke is just, they're so bad. I don't blame him for the 4-0 loss. But he ended up playing in that game, so that's just good experience.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the best striker on the pitch by a country mile.
Yeah,
he's clear of that Norwegian fraud.
What's his name on Borussia Dortmund?
Hayland, I think.
Yeah,
something like that.
Holly, something. I don't know. Oh well. Anyways, we're gonna go over to France with Tim Weah. He helped Lille take over undisputed possession of first place in French league as he played the final 25 minutes of a 5-1 victory at Lorient on Sunday. And then on Thursday, he started and scored Lille's lone goal in its 2-1 loss to Ajax in the first leg of the UEFA Europa League, round of 32. And then the second leg is set for Thursday, which hopefully he can play in that one as well and maybe even come out with a victory.
It's really exciting watching. He's someone for the past couple of years that I've been really excited about. I think that genuinely, like talent-wise, he is on that level of a Pulisic, of a Reina. It's just been his problem is that he's been injured for like over a year, wasn't getting game time, and now he's become one of Lille's more important attackers. Scoring goals, getting assists for a team that's top of the league in France. So hopefully, if he stays healthy, hopefully he can become either that other winger on the other side of Pulisic, or I've seen him play striker for Lille as well. So he could challenge for that too. But he's got so much like technical ability and just the natural pure talent he has, as well as just he's a great athlete too. He's still only 20 years old. That's what people forget. They think because he's been on the scene for about 3 years now, and so some people think he's probably 22, 23, but no, he's still only 20 years old, and he's doing big things. So looking forward to his future.
Hopefully, he can definitely fill in one of those two spots of needs for us on the U.S. men's national team, a winger or a striker. And then we're going to go over to Italy, where Weston McKennie had 2 starts for a 2-1 loss against Porto and a 3-0 win today versus Crotone, where he actually scored a goal.
I think it's Crotone.
Or Crotone.
Crotone.
Yeah.
But yeah, he scored a goal off of I think it was off of a corner. He didn't win like the direct header, but he got the rebound and slotted it home. So yeah, 2 starts. 1 goal, obviously not the result Juventus wanted in the midweek against Porto in that loss, but they bounced back in the league today. They're staying in that hunt for the Serie A title.
Yeah. The fact that McKennie can start for a talent-filled Juventus is just really good for us.
I don't think that's like I don't think we can understate that like too much. Like that's a big deal. The fact that he's 22 years old, and I think he just turned 22, and he's starting pretty much, almost every game for Juventus, one of the better clubs in Europe and in the world. So that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. All right, going over to Spain, Barcelona. We got Serginho Dest played 80 minutes in a 1-1 draw versus Cadiz, and then 71 minutes in a 4-1 thrashing versus PSG. And I believe we have some shit to settle right now about this.
Okay. So
I'll let you take it off.
All right. Twitter, we obviously spoke about it earlier. It is a place for a lot of hatred,
the toxicity,
a lot of slander, a lot of toxic nonsense. Serginho Dest, for the first 25, 30 minutes of that PSG game, was absolutely locking up Kylian Mbappe.
Clamped. Okay?
Locking him up. Clamped. So much that the PSG manager, Pochettino, was like, yo, Mbappe, drift a little bit inside. Become almost like a second striker because this dude Dest, he's kind of got you right now.
It's a real deal.
And so that happens. Mbappe obviously ended up going on to score a hat trick. None of those 3 goals were Dest's fault. I saw a tweet. The first goal that Mbappe scored was about 30 yards away from Dest. Yeah. Don't know what the hell he's supposed to do about that. It was Dembele's fault because he didn't track Mbappe. And by the way, like, what do you expect Dest to do 1v1 and sometimes even 1v2 against Mbappe and PSG's left back Kurzawa when Dembele isn't tracking back to help him at all? So there's not a single right back on the planet that would be able to cope with that.
Put him on a fucking island.
And then the second goal that Mbappe scored, Dest was in the general area. It was a save.
It was a rebound goal.
Yeah, right? A rebound goal. And sorry that Dest didn't know exactly where the ball was going to rebound, and so it rebounded past him to Mbappe. That's obviously Dest's fault. He can't tell the future and realize where the goal is going. And then shame on Dest too. For Mbappe's third goal, he was on the bench. Like, why would you be on the bench in that situation? Get back onto the pitch and defend him. So obviously that was also his fault in that situation. Don't know why he wasn't on the pitch. He got subbed off. Obviously, he just shouldn't have been subbed off. That's his problem if he's going to allow Mbappe to score in that situation. So clearly, clearly Mbappe just tore Dest up single handedly. It wasn't anybody else on Barcelona's fault. I was watching the game, watched the entire game.
Yeah.
Mbappe skinned Dest once. I have to say he acted like he was going to shoot on his right foot.
I saw that.
And then he chopped it onto his left. Ter Stegen made the save. That was the one time that I genuinely sat there and said, okay, Mbappe kind of got him right there.
He didn't even concede.
Let's remember, this is Kylian Mbappe, arguably a top 3, top 5 player on the planet. Okay, there is not a single right back on this planet that is going to shut him down. So
for an entire game,
especially a 20-year-old Serginho Dest. Like I don't understand the slander that he was getting on Twitter. I know it's like fun and trendy to slander Barcelona players, and obviously El Tri fans love slandering U.S. men's national team players. Newsflash for you: your starting right back plays in the Liga MX, not for Barcelona, one of the biggest clubs on the planet.
Garbage.
So I mean, there is levels to this. So just realize who you're talking to.
And I would also like to say, or to add to that the people that are slandering Serginho Dest, I guarantee you, a lot of them did not watch that game.
Oh no, they just saw that Mbappe.
They saw highlights,
yep.
And they saw the final score. They saw the highlights of Mbappe scoring. They saw, who was guarding Mbappe that whole game? Oh, he lined up on the left. Oh, that's Serginho Dest.
Yep.
That is how they're analyzing this thing. You didn't watch the
I guarantee
game.
you 80-90% of the people that were slandering him were like that. They were like, oh wait, so on FIFA, Kylian Mbappe plays left wing, and then on FIFA, Dest is a right back. So obviously they match up against each other. So because Mbappe scored 3 goals, it must have been on Dest.
This shit is so dumb. Watch the game and actually break it down, and you will see that Dest was really good that game. It's just
he played really well in the first half, and in the second half he kind of it was kind of so. Yeah. Another thing that I don't understand is that Koeman, Barcelona's manager, what is Dest really good at? Like, what's he known for? It's his attacking ability. He's very good at going forward. He's a great dribbler. He can even score a goal if you need him to. Yeah. And yet he plays for Barcelona like he just sits back in defense. Like that's just kind of a waste of his talent, in my opinion. And I mean, if that was what Koeman wanted to do in that game, then don't start Dest. They have that what's his name? They have a Mingueza or somebody like that came on for Dest in that game. He's a center back that's kind of transitioned out to right back.
Yeah.
If you want that more defensive side, then play him. Don't play Dest if you're not going to allow him to go forward. I mean, it's like putting Kylian Mbappe into Burnley's team, and where he's just going to have to defend most of the time and not get to express himself going forward. So
yeah, or even play Dest at a right wing spot.
He would have done better than Dembele.
He would have tracked back and fucking helped on defense while using his strength in the attack. He would have whipped in balls. He would have made runs. He'd have made people miss. I mean, that's what he's good at. Use him where his strengths are at.
Yeah, so his slander is totally unjust, uncalled for. But however, there is some slander coming towards someone's way in the U.S. men's national team that may be warranted, some may argue.
All right, look. This is a very touchy subject because it's close to my heart, all right? I've been a Christian Pulisic fan for quite a while now. He's definitely my favorite U.S. men's national team player. He's been that for a while. And obviously him being on Chelsea, just, it puts it even closer to the heart. But there are people absolutely fucking slandering trashing this man because he has been somewhat injury prone over the past few years. He can't stay healthy. He's not playing, blah, blah, blah. When he is healthy and he is on the pitch and you play him where he's supposed to play, he's arguably the best player on the pitch, at least on Chelsea's team. Mason Mount, he's also up there. But Pulisic, when he is healthy, when he's in form, best player on the pitch. And there's no doubt in my mind that anyone's that
his problem though is that he literally cannot stay healthy. It's becoming an issue, and it's getting very nervous as obviously you get double of it as a Chelsea and U.S. men's national team fan, but making me very nervous as a USA men's national team fan that he is literally, there's always something wrong with him. I mean, if you look at his injury history, he's had 15 injuries over 3 or 4 years as a professional. And granted, I think 12 of those 15 were very small injuries, whereas I think 2 or 3 were bigger injuries that left him out for a significant period of time. But I'm also wondering too that I think everybody just assumed when Tuchel came in that he coached Pulisic at Dortmund. Obviously, that's going to be one of his favorite players, and he started one game? It was the FA Cup game. I mean, I'm starting. I mean, does he not? I saw some people suggesting that maybe he. They said, okay, yeah, he might have had a talk with Pulisic and said, hey, I know what you can do. I know what your talent is like, but I don't know what these guys are like. So I'm going to test out certain lineups and certain personnel for the first, month or whatever when I'm in charge and figure out who is good and who's not. And then I'm going to put you back into the team. But I don't know. That wouldn't really make much sense to me because you want to put the best guys out there in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's that. I mean, there might be a little bit of that, but I've also seen stuff where he's like nursing, a minor injury and would rather him fully heal it before he gets back onto the pitch. I've heard a few things, but I don't know if he doesn't play here within the next, I don't know, 2
I think they
games,
said that he should be available for the game against Bayern. I don't know if y'all play tomorrow or Wednesday, but hopefully hopefully or not Bayern,
Yeah,
Atletico Madrid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Madrid. I was like,
Speaking of Bayern, though, no, I saw you were like, oh shit,
I was
Bayern.
like, what the fuck do we play Bayern?
No, what I saw is that there was rumors about him going to Bayern, Pulisic, but those are probably just rumors. I don't know if there's much traction behind that, but yeah, hopefully Pulisic can I mean just get healthy because we all know what he can do when he is healthy, and so that's the biggest battle for him is to stay healthy.
Yeah, he's definitely class when he's healthy. I mean, you saw what he did against Liverpool that in that one game. I mean, just cut through the defense, whipped in a beautiful ball to Tammy Abraham. He has that element that Chelsea has been missing for a while. And the fact that he's not afraid to take risks in order to make a play happen. Mm-hmm. He's willing to try and dribble past 1-2, defenders in order to open up an offensive attack. And we just haven't seen that much, this season as a Chelsea fan. Our offense is so bland, and it's just pass around the back and hope.
Just like keep possession more than anything else.
It's so boring, and yeah, it works to an extent, but like make something happen, like make an exciting play, and that's what Pulisic brings. And without him, it's boring, man. It really is.
Yep. All right, enough talk about the Yanks. Let's get back to the Premier League and get to our Big Six preview for the midweek and weekend games. Coming down to the nitty-gritty for us with our picks, and also coming down to the nitty-gritty for some of these teams with regards to their season as to whether it'll be a success or not. Let's start off in the midweek in the Champions League. We have Man City playing Borussia Mönchengladbach from the German league. This is actually at a neutral site at the Puskás Arena. I believe that's that's Hungary, isn't it? Puskás? I think that's in Hungary, yeah. But anyways, this is a neutral site. Yeah, it's in Budapest, Hungary. Neutral site game because those two, Germany and England, they have like quarantine rules. Like you have to quarantine for 14 days if you travel. So obviously that wouldn't work with league games and all going on. So both of those matchups will be played at neutral sites. It's pretty straightforward for me. Mönchengladbach is they're eighth in the Bundesliga. They're not even having that great of a season, albeit they did make it through along with Real Madrid and that group for the Champions League, and they get matched up against Man City, who's the hottest team in Europe at the moment,
really
and
in the world.
Yeah, and I don't see this being very difficult. I guess this is technically the home leg for Mönchengladbach, but it's not being played in Germany. Pretty straightforward for me. I expect Man City to win this comfortably. I am going to say they walk out of there with a 4-0 win.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that same boat. Plus, the last time I picked a German team a pretty decent German team, the second place in the league to beat a.
Yeah, you got to learn
German Liverpool
it's
team.
Bayern than everyone else.
Yeah, I fucked that pick up. So I'm definitely not. I wouldn't have taken them in anyways, even if that didn't happen.
I don't think you'd take anyone against Man City right now.
I got Man City winning 3-0.
I also made the mistake last week of.
Did I not warn you guys and say that wasn't going to happen?
Oh, you want to get into that? Let's get into that. Who picked a draw of Wolfsburger and Man United again?
No, it was
a team
Spurs.
That we've never. Or Spurs. My bad.
Look,
My
okay, that was
bitch.
my fault because I've literally never seen them play, and I was like, oh, if they got to the knockout stages of Europa, they must be okay. But yeah, that was
Incorrect.
But look. Nobody
fucking
warned me of that though. Like nobody was like, yo, Wolfsburger sucks dick.
I wasn't gonna be like, "Yo, that was retarded," but
That's too damn bad.
in my head, I was like, "Did he really just pick this team that we've literally never fucking heard of to beat?"
Well, that was
Spurs?
partially too because of my hatred for Spurs, and I let that get the best of me.
All right.
Anyways, Sling, what do you got for the Man City Mönchengladbach game? That's what imagine saying
That's
that
a
5
3-0.
times fast. Mönchengladbach. God, that's tough.
Mönchengladbach.
Yeah, exactly. So
I said 3-0. I have
you're
them.
just
I have Man City winning very
Jake.
comfortably. No, I actually wrote this down before.
Yeah, absolutely no proof of that.
Mine's been in my brain since last week, so
yeah.
I mean, your bread is fucking scrambled eggs, so I'm gonna say 3-0.
All right, on to another team from the Premier League that is playing in the Champions League this week is Jake's Blues against Atletico Madrid.
God. So,
neutral side as well in that game. It's going to be played in Romania.
Yeah, this is tough, man. Atletico Madrid, I think, are they
They're top of La Liga. They're playing really well this year. They got Suarez, who's been playing really well. João Felix.
They have Diego Costa too, right?
He's not really playing for them. I'm pretty sure they might have actually released him in January. But he doesn't play for them, basically. But Simeone, he's always going to have a well-marshaled, good defense. João Felix, the young Portuguese talent, he's really put it together this season after 2 seasons being bought for 2 seasons ago, got bought for like 100 million. He's really kind of put that 100 million more made it worth the 100 million this year. And so, yeah, they've been playing really well. They're top of La Liga. It's going to be a tough little out for Chelsea.
I don't like picking against my team.
Mm-hmm.
I trust me. I want to say, yeah, Chelsea's going to win, but because I don't want to fuck up this pick, and logically, I want to say, God, this hurts saying this, but I feel like Atletico Madrid has a good chance at beating us.
It is okay. So here's something to think about.
I think you're going to bounce that.
It is Chelsea's home leg. So if Atletico Madrid were to beat them on their home leg with that away goals rule, that would be catastrophic for Chelsea. So they really need to, at the very least, get a draw. And even if it was like a 0-0 draw, that wouldn't be a bad result for Chelsea because at least Atletico get no away goals in that situation.
I'm going to go – I was going to say Atletico at first, but I'm going to have some faith, damn it. I'm going to go 1-1 draw.
I am going to go with Atletico Madrid 4-1.
Holy
just kidding.
Fuck.
No, I'm not.
Oh my God.
Go fuck yourself.
I'm going 4-1. It's so tough for me because Chelsea, I watched them play and they hold possession really well and they're good in that middle third. But they, like you said, y'all's players don't take risks in that final third, and that's where you need to take risks. And I mean, against a team like Atletico Madrid, you are not just going to be able to pass it sideways and do the safe passes and break them down. You will not score against them if you just make safe passes. I think if Pulisic is actually healthy and plays, he could be that guy that could have that produce that moment of magic,
the spark,
and break down Atletico Madrid. This is tough because
this is a really good game.
Yeah, I haven't watched Atletico Madrid this season. I don't really follow the Spanish league very well. But I know that they've obviously been the best team in Spain this year at top of La Liga. And so just based on that, their form, I am going to go with a 2-1 Atletico Madrid victory. I think Suarez is probably going to be the difference in this game.
What happened to 4-1?
No, it's going to troll. I don't think they're going to win 4-1.
God, I fucking hope not.
I mean, I had 2-1 as well. That's why I was hoping you were going to go with 4-1. I guess you just got to copy.
Yeah, I mean, when I say it first and literally have no idea, you say 2-1. But
I mean, just check the freaking weekly picks
I don't think
sheet.
I will.
That's all you have to do. Just open your eyes. Anyway, I had 2-1 Atletico winning. I mean, it is Chelsea's home leg, so it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for Atletico.
When is that? Is that tomorrow or is that on Wednesday?
It is tomorrow.
It is Tuesday.
Tuesday. So I'll be looking forward to watching that. All
Mañana.
right, so yeah, Jake going with a draw and me and Sling going for the W. For great.
They're gonna bounce.
Now back into the superior competition that is Europa League. We'll start with the two legs that kind of are almost solved already. Manchester United versus Sociedad. That I think, oddly enough, I'm pretty sure that game was played at a neutral site for Real Sociedad's home leg, but for some reason it's being played at Old Trafford for United's home leg. So that's kind of weird for me. That almost seems kind of unfair. Not that it really would have mattered in this tie, anyways. But, with United having a 4-0 lead, I think they'll probably rest players for the league, and I think that this will be a much closer game because of that. I also think that when you have a 4-0 lead, I mean, in the back of your mind, you're like, all right, this is done and over with.
Neil.
I'm gonna go with a 1-1 draw in that game.
Really?
Yeah, I think there'll be a sense of complacency for United since they have such a big lead. And I did watch I watched some of that first game and watched the highlights, and Sociedad had opportunities where they could have scored. They just didn't put away their chances. So I'm gonna go with a draw for that one. Actually, scratch that. I'm gonna go 2-2 draw, not 1-1, 2-2.
Okay. I'm not gonna go with a draw here. I'm gonna go with Man United winning, not by a lot though. I think it's gonna be closer, especially if they rest guys. And like you said, Real Sociedad had some chances and just unlucky, couldn't put them away. I'm going to say they put away 1 this game, but I'm saying Man United puts away 2. Man United 2-1.
I'm going to say 1-0 Man U. Like Logan said, I think there will be some complacency there. But I mean, Sociedad, he said that they had some opportunities they could have finished, but I don't really see them, being able to put any against Man U this time around either. I think Man U might get a goal here, some random, maybe Fernandez gets one in or something. Yeah, I'll say 1-0 Man U.
All right, moving on to the other another Big Six side that pretty much has their tie wrapped up in Spurs. They host Wolfsburger this time. I will not be going for a draw in this game because even if Spurs are complacent,
You sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay.
Even if Spurs are complacent, I watched some of that first game, and like I said earlier, Wolfsburger they're not good. They're just not a good football side. No offense to them, but there is levels, and Spurs are levels to them. I am going to go with a 3-1 Spurs victory.
Yeah, that's close to my scoreline. I'm going to be going 3-0 Tottenham. I think Wolfsburg, has kind of lost hope after that first game, and I think Tottenham will just be able to put it on them, and I think 3-0 Spurs. But still, fuck Spurs at the same time.
Fuck Spurs.
Fuck Spurs, but I had them going 3-0. They bounced. They
This man's
bounced.
just copying
Wolfsburger.
everyone, bro. This shit is wild to me.
Crazy.
Dude, I literally
How about you
wrote
lower
that
your
down
voice?
before Jake even says it. No, I don't think I will actually. I said.
All right, anyways, enough about these bums. Let's get on to the most important game of the week.
Whoa!
Arsenal versus Benfica.
Whoa!
It's definitely the most important game in the Europa League.
I'll give you that.
But
I'll give you that.
look, if Arsenal lose this game, I don't know. I'm gonna be very, very, very upset. They actually don't even have to lose. If they were to draw this game 2-2, Benfica would go through on the away goals. And that's the thing. With how bad we played in the first leg, we got that away goal. So all we have to do is get a clean sheet. If the game ends 0-0, we're through on away goals. If we win 7-0, we're through. Just keep a clean sheet. That's all you have to do. Benfica showed me absolutely nothing in that first leg that says that they're capable of scoring on us without some kind of penalty or something, some kind of crazy set piece. They were genuinely just not a good side. It was, which is why I was so frustrated that we ended up drawing that first game 1-1. But yeah, I mean, this is the game of the season so far for Arsenal. I really hope that the players still don't have that Olympiacos thought in the back of their mind. Last season when we went to Olympiacos, got a 1-0 win, and then ended up losing the tie 2-1 in extra time. And then they went through on away goals. I hope that's still not in the back of their head. I hope Arteta makes some changes. I wouldn't mind Lacazette getting a run in this game. I've I just thought Aubameyang was absolutely awful against Benfica the first game. He didn't really do anything against City, which I don't know if I can blame him for. I don't know if I can blame any of the forwards for that game. They're getting no service, but Lacazette was in good form and just randomly was taken out of the side for like the last 3 or 4 games. I wouldn't mind him getting a run back into the side. I'd play either one of Smith Rowe or Odegaard. I'm not playing both. I want to start Pepe out wide, and then Saka obviously keeps his spot on the other flank. And this is a game that I could see going one of two ways. I think it could be a very nervy, close game that maybe even Benfica goes through on with the away goal, or if they nick a goal and win 1-0. Or I think what's going to happen, in my opinion, and this is what I'm hoping for, but this is also what logically I'm thinking will happen. Is I think Benfica will come in and for the first 45 minutes they'll play like they did in the first leg. They'll defend pretty heavily. They won't really go for it. I think it could be a close game at halftime. It might just still be 0-0. It could maybe be 1-1 or 1-0. And then I think in the second half, Benfica will know that they have to go for it, and they'll come out and they'll start attacking. And I think that's when it opens up counterattacks for Arsenal. And I think Arsenal win this game 4-0. I'm going for a big boy score. I'm saying I think the boys come out and put in the performance that is needed. And from watching Benfica if we come out and play up to our capabilities, we will run them off the pitch. And I'm going big. I'm going with a 4-0 victory.
Sling, I'll let you pick for your Gunners next.
Yeah, I'm gonna split the difference there. I'm gonna say 2-0.
That's just lame.
I just feel like the last couple games, I feel like you're lame, but all right.
I know you are, but what am I? Go ahead.
I don't think I want
All right,
to.
what were you to say? What were you going to say?
I want to apologize. I'm going to split your fucking high prediction of 4-0, and I'm going to say 2-0. Nothing's really showing me that they're just going to go out and like put up a crap ton of goals this game. I mean, Benfica did not look great either in the first leg, but like the last couple games, we just haven't really had that like offensive like.
I mean, we literally scored 4 goals against Leeds like 1 week ago.
And since then, what's happened? We draw against Benfica and we lose 1-0 to. I don't care.
No confidence in
2-0.
you. Well, I mean, I guess 2-0 is still confidence, but
here's what I think is going to happen, or for my pick. Obviously, it was 1-1. Y'all are winning on the aggregate goals. I think Benfica is going to come back or sit back and defend. And I think Arsenal is going to break through first. Maybe in the first half, but I'm thinking in the second half they break through first. They score, and then because they score, that's going to cause Benfica to have to push for that goal. And I'm thinking Arsenal gets a second goal because of them having to attack more. So I'm also going to go 2-0 Arsenal.
Going with safe bets.
Yeah, I had to give you a chance. I'll let you go first.
All right. Well, let's move on to the weekend after those midweek games. We'll move back into the Premier League action, starting off early on Saturday morning, or somewhat early Saturday morning. Manchester City, what should be a pretty good game. They host West Ham. What are y'all thinking for that game?
It's definitely it's a good matchup, especially with West Ham's current form. Then breaking into the top 4. That being said, I just think Man City has too much quality. I think Man City wins this game 3-1, and they're at home, so that's their advantage in that too. So yeah, I think they win 3-1.
Sling, what you got?
West Ham have been a really good side as of late, but obviously Man City, the hottest team in the world right now. I'm gonna go 2-0 just because like I said, West Ham, they've been a good side. Man City, I mean, they only put up 1 goal against Arsenal, and West Ham is a better side than we are. So, but I think they'll get it going. They kind of looked a little slow against Arsenal. I think it was a good coaching matchup as well. I don't think there are too many other coaches in the league other than Mourinho that really know Pep as well as Arteta does. So I'll give Man City a 2-0 win over West Ham this time.
I don't know why my gut is telling me that like maybe West Ham is able to put in a good performance and sneak out of there with a draw, but at the same time, my like brain is telling me that they're going to win 3-0. And so I'm just going to go with a. I'm going to go with just a safer pick and I'm going to go with a 2-1 City victory.
All right.
All right, and then after that, I believe this is like a very, very early Sunday morning kickoff. Yeah, 6 a.m. on Sunday. Arsenal travel to the King Power Stadium to take on Leicester City. I mean, I would like to say this is a big game for Arsenal. I mean, I don't really know if they have big games in the league anymore. Obviously, it's going to be dependent. I think this game has a lot to do with how Thursday goes. I think if Arsenal lose on Thursday, or even don't lose, but if they don't go through on Thursday in the Europa League, I think they could just be demoralized, and I think they could go to Leicester and get slapped around. I think if they win, they could ride that high and go to. We've several times in the last few seasons played really well against Leicester, but Vardy has like that random counterattack that he scores off of, and then Schmeichel makes like 18 amazing saves, or they have like 7 clearances off the line. So it's just something about Leicester these last few seasons that we can't seem to beat them. And yeah, I mean, I wish I could say I see that changing, but I am not. I don't think that's going to change. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. I don't want to pick us to lose, but I don't think we're going to win.
I think Leicester's counter is just really deadly, and because of that, I think I'm going to go Leicester City 2-1.
Jesus Christ!
Let me guess. Sling picks 2-1. Sling, you're a coward for picking against Arsenal. It was acceptable when it was against Man City, but Leicester, I mean, come on, you're a coward.
Leicester is top 3
I don't give a shit.
in the league. I kind of do when I'm picking to win.
So what are you picking? 2-1?
2-1.
This is why you're Poe, but all right. All right, then we move on to later during Sunday, 10:30 a.m. kickoff here, 4:30 p.m. kickoff in the UK. The big game from the weekend: Manchester United travel to Stamford Bridge to face Chelsea.
Yes, sir. This is going to be a good game. Definitely, I think these are two of the better teams in the Premier League. Man United. God, this is tough. I could see this game going either way. I could also see it getting out of hand. If one team makes a few mistakes and then it just piles on. But the inner fan in me is saying Chelsea wins this game 2. I'm gonna now see because it's Man U, so they're at least gonna get one, whether it's a penalty or some bullshit. I'm gonna go 2-1 Chelsea.
You're just the 2-1 king, are you?
I mean,
this man's just picking 2-1 every single game.
I can see it happening. All right.
I'm gonna go with Man United get 2 red cards and Chelsea win 7-0.
Word. Hey, I mean that's a solid pick.
I really have no idea who's gonna win this game. I haven't seen enough from Chelsea under Tuchel to like really give me an idea of what they're about. I think Man United are kind of up and down, albeit they have been very good on the road this season. So that's why like a part of me wants to say that they might be able to come out on top. I mean, I think I'm probably going to go with United just because I think Chelsea will play a very strong. Well, I mean, obviously they're going to play a very strong team against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League, and that's in Romania. Obviously, long travel. Albeit they will get an extra day of rest since they play, or no, 2 days of extra rest since they play on Tuesday and United play on Thursday. But I think United rest some key players against Sociedad in the Europa League. I think they may be a little bit more rested than Chelsea will be. I think that'll have something to do with it. I think Chelsea will have the possession. I think what United do on the road so good is they soak up that possession and then they hit you on the counterattack. And I think that is exactly what they're going to do against Chelsea. And I'm going to say that they come out of there with. I'm just going to flip your score. I'm going to say 2-1 Man United.
2-1 King. Yeah. Don't give me that.
Today's a pretty good day for 2-1s. So I think I'll also say 2-1 Manchester United.
And we're kind of lame for these picks, to be honest.
I think Man U.
Very interesting.
Yeah, this is kind of dead. But, I think Man U's gonna bounce that ass.
Elite pause.
Bouncing that ass?
Elite pause.
It's a little sus.
They're gonna bounce that ass, and Chelsea's gonna lose. Jake's gonna cry.
All right, Spurs. They host Sean Dyche's Burnley.
Burnley.
I think this could be like a 0-0. Like a part of me wants to say it's going to be a 0-0 because Burnley are going to come and defend their asses off.
Yeah,
but a part of me is like, I mean, Spurs do have Kane and Son, so I think Spurs do get back on track in the Premier League in this game. I think they'll probably win 2-0. Yeah, I'm going to go 2-0. I'm saying 1-0. Burnley finally actually have to attack, and then Spurs hit them on the counterattack, make it 2-0.
See, I was also going to say 2-0 because you picked it. I'm going Spurs 3-0.
I'm not falling into this trap.
You got to pick 4-0 now or 1-0.
Dude, you have been eating pretzels for like the last hour.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I kind of want to feel the burn. I want to pick Burnley to win.
I can see it happening. Spurs are so like.
Spurs are on off.
Spurs are very Spursy. So
that's facts. And fuck Spurs. So
yeah.
I might just say like 1-0 Spurs.
God, geez, they're just lame. These picks are so lame.
Lame as fuck.
I'm gonna spice it up. All right, this is our last game to pick for the week.
Oh God.
Sheffield United. They play Liverpool, and Sheffield United are going to lose 3-0.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna go Liverpool. Is definitely winning that game, and I'm gonna say 4-0.
See, if Liverpool were at home, which is kind of weird to think about, I might have actually picked Sheffield United to do some weird shit and maybe get a draw or even like a 1-0 victory. But Liverpool have actually been winning away from home. They've just been losing at home every single game. So, yeah, stick with a W for Liverpool.
I'm gonna say 2-0 Liverpool.
All right. Last 10 games, is that what it is? Yep, last 10 games of the month. And it's all squared up between the three of us. Let's see if one of us or two of us can separate themselves from the pack.
Come on, lads.
All right, Sling, I think you know what time it is.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me, Sling. So after our game against Manchester City, David Luiz had some catching up to do with some old pals, I guess we can call it. I'm here to tell you right now that David Luiz is a curly-haired coward.
What do you think about Bellerin as well? He was kicking with Rodri, I think.
He was kind of like just catching up, but Luiz was like smiling and laughing away. Like, look, you can sit here and say like, "Oh, he's just catching up with old teammates."
Wait, you said
That's
Rodri?
what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, they're Spanish teammates.
What the hell? I'm not done.
Wait, you're gonna wait. Hold on. I got before you go. I just have a question. So if Chelsea plays Juventus, let's just say it happened in the Champions League, you would get mad at Pulisic for going up to McKinney after the game and like talking, even if one side won.
Look, that's not Sling's team, so he doesn't give a fuck.
If you're catching up and talking, that's one thing, but not like joking around and laughing it up after you lose a game.
See, all right, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Okay, I remember I was always like growing up playing sports. Whenever we played games against whenever I would play games against my friends, during that game,
you are not my friend.
Yeah, no. If I was pitching on the mound, I grew up playing baseball. That was my main sport. If I was pitching on the mound to one of my buddies, I wanted to strike him out. If I was hitting and he was pitching, I wanted to hit a home run off of him. But after the game, we were boys again. I mean, even if we lost, I mean, I might be a little upset that we lost, but I mean, I'd still kind of, joke around with him or talk to him after the game. And so, like, I don't know if I really have a problem with Luiz and Bellerin kind of kicking it with.
Okay, the difference is that that's Little League.
Yeah, but I think it's just the same.
Whereas these are professionals and they're getting paid to do this. Not to mention, they just lost a league game to a team that's at the top. Like, you shouldn't be joking around and smiling and laughing about that. Like, that's a bad look. Your teammates see you laughing it up after your team just lost. If I saw somebody laughing it up after a game that on a team that I just lost, I would be pissed too.
I can agree with that. I think the thing with me though is like I would be okay if he just went up to him and had a conversation, a quick, brief conversation, like, hey, what's up, man? Good game.
Yeah, hey,
like,
how's it going?
Nice. We'll be seeing you again, dap him up and head out. But when you start to laugh after you just got your fucking, I don't want to say ass kicked because it was a 1-0 loss, but when you just got beat and, you were looking to come out on top, I'm not going to go over there and start, shooting the shit and, like, joking with them. I mean, I guarantee you I'm going to be pissed off, and I'm just going to be like, look, man, good game. I'm going to go back to the locker room, and I'm going to get the fuck out of here. Like, I'm not going to sit around here and laugh and shit. So I get that part, but just catching up with your national teammate, I'm fine with that.
They're grown-ass men. Like, if they want to catch up and shoot the shit and cut up like that after the game, they can go grab a beer or something afterwards. Like, go to the locker room, listen to what your manager has to say, be with your teammates, and don't sit there and, like, laugh it up after you just lost the game. Like, I don't understand how anybody could see that as a fan and be like, oh, yeah, that guy cares about what's going on the pitch.
See, I just can't agree. I can't agree. I said to you, I was like, if he was doing that with, like, after we had lost to Spurs, I'd probably be pissed off. But, like, I mean, I don't know. I don't really see it. I don't think it's as big of a deal as, like, a lot of Arsenal fans have made it out to be. I don't really feel either way about it. It's like, okay, whatever.
I also think it would be different if y'all were in title contention, but y'all just...
Yeah, if, like, that was a big game, I would be a lot more upset. But, I mean, every Arsenal fan that's not delusional knew that we were going to – they knew the result of that game before it even happened. So, I don't know. That doesn't – I'm a little indifferent on it. I don't really care either way. But I have seen some fans.
Well, I'm here to tell you that he's a fucking curly-haired coward, and he better bring it next game, or else he'll get injured.
All right. Well, that does our Sling Speaks portion of the podcast for the week. Before we wrap it up, before we get out of here, let's go ahead and give our winners and losers of the week. I'll start it off with my winner. I mean. Here, y'all go ahead. I don't even know who my winner is, to be honest. Y'all have
one? Yeah, I do. And these ones are going to be a little bit surprising, because it's not as important as like a Man City or a Man United or the top four, or the people fighting to get into the top four. I'm actually going to take it to the bottom of the table. I'm going to say Fulham is my winner of the week. Their past 4 games has been 2 draws and 2 dubs. They are fighting to get out of relegation. They're the third to last from being relegated, but still, that's relegation. And like I said a few podcasts ago, fucking Newcastle, is going to get relegated. They have looked so bad, and Fulham is only 3 points behind Newcastle right now.
You want to know what's kind of wild and could be like kind of crazy is they play Newcastle the last game of the season.
Holy fuck.
That could be lit.
That could be imagine that the deciding game of relegation.
That makes me like so upset that like fans aren't in the stadium for a game like that. Like that pisses me off.
That's fucking wild. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock out both of mine right here since I'm kind of getting into it and it involves both of them. I'm saying Fulham is my winner of the week for getting a draw and a dub their last 2 games, and Newcastle 2 L's in a row. And they
started like playing. They started playing okay too, and then they've just gone back into the bad form that they had before.
They've gone to shit. Sometimes it may be good, sometimes maybe shit. And Newcastle
sometimes it may be good. Shit. A lot of the times, maybe shit.
Yeah. So I'm saying Fulham is going to escape relegation at the end of the season. I'm putting it down right fucking now. that they are escaping relegation, and Newcastle is going to be that.
Did we all pick
right
that bottom three just to stay the bottom three when we did that first episode? I think we did.
Well, yeah, we did, but I
think we all agreed that like Newcastle could be that team.
Yeah, that Newcastle is going to be the one that fucking that is possible.
I mean, you never know. Burnley's down there too. I mean, I would not be against Burnley going down too because they are anti-football. I despise watching them play. Even though, look, it's worked for them. They've been in the Premier League for, 5-6 years now. I still do not like watching them play, and I wouldn't be upset at all.
3 games, too, have been kind of rough. 2 draws and a loss. They're at 26 points. They're only one ahead of
Dude, they got screwed today. I was watching that. They were literally dominating Crystal Palace, and they should have gotten a draw, and then Benteke out of nowhere just scores in like the 93rd minute to win it for Palace. So that was just unfortunate for them. Yeah, dude, look. Brighton had 25 shots to Crystal Palace's 3, and they lost 2-1.
That's toxic.
And 75% possession and 25. Bro. Oh, this sport is so cruel.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. Brighton is actually like a decent side.
I like watching them play. Like they aren't one of those small teams that just like defends for their lives. They actually try to play football and all. Like,
and only a -6 goal differential, dude. That must be tough for being a Brighton fan this season, being in that close of games.
Yeah, they literally they either draw a lot or they just lose every game by 1 goal. They never get like blown out or anything.
Yeah. I feel for Brighton fans right now. So yeah, that's my winner and loser of this week.
So what you got for this week?
God, this is kind of tough because like no one really.
Winners is kind of difficult for me too. There wasn't like just an apparent especially in the Big Six, like an apparent winner of the week.
I mean, you could take the easy.
You could always say City.
West
Ham pretty simple.
Did West Ham jump into the top 4 this week?
They did. That wouldn't be a bad shout.
I'm gonna say West Ham then. I think that's pretty impressive, especially looking over the clubs they're sitting above right now, like Chelsea, Liverpool, who aren't even in the top 5
Everton too, dude. Everton's quality.
Everton is sitting up there.
Bro, what's funny is that West Ham fans, I saw multiple West Ham fans before the season thought that they might be relegation contenders because they were kind of close last year. I think they stayed up by like maybe 10 points or so. Might have even been less than that. I think it was actually less than that.
West Ham stayed up by 5 points.
Yeah, so they almost got relegated last year, and I don't really think they made a ton of additions in the offseason with like the transfer window and everything. Obviously, you kept the same manager and David Luiz, and I saw some West Ham fans saying that they wouldn't be surprised if they got relegated, and now they're in a top 4 Champions League spot. So yeah, pretty good turnaround for them.
Imagine.
Who's your loser this week, Sling?
Go for West. My losers of the week are going to be you guys. No, I'm just kidding. We'll get into that later. But I guess I have to go with Tottenham as usual.
Just because they exist.
Tottenham now, yeah, just because they exist for number 1. But number 2, they're now sitting at number 9 in the league. And I remember when
you look at their form, it's just so they've gotten 1 point from their last 5 games in the league. Is that what it is? 3? That's horrible.
Yeah, so I mean, they're just on that slide now. So
long may it continue.
Go with Tottenham. They're my big.
All right, so my winner of the week is I'm going to go with Manchester United. City would have been very easy. I mean, they're a winner every single week. They literally win every single game. But United, I thought there could be some doubts. I think Sociedad is a decent enough team from La Liga. There is like a little bit of doubt, in my opinion, as to how they do against Sociedad. They drilled them 4-0. And then they got back on winning ways in the league this week against Newcastle. And 2 games, 2 W's for them. They're still in second place in the league, tied up with Leicester City. So they are my winners for the week. And then my loser for the week is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Was one of my winners last week after scoring a hat-trick against Leeds. And he comes out, and I said it earlier, that was one of the worst striker performances I've seen in an Arsenal shirt for a long time. I mean, he was so bad against Benfica. He looked like he had zero confidence, which would make no sense because he just scored a hat trick a few days before that game. And then, although I'm not really going to blame him much for the Man City game, but he didn't do anything in the Man City game either. So 2 games for him, basically did nothing, and was very bad against Benfica. So he is my loser for the week. I mean, he's the main man at Arsenal. Gets paid the most money. Wears the captain's armband. And even though he has money in the bank, just because he's carried us last season. So I'm not just going to sit here and slander him for too long. But I expect a lot more out of him, and hopefully maybe he can turn it up this week if he plays against Benfica. He can bounce back and get us a couple of goals.
He was
True.
a Aubameyang this
Very
week.
true. All right. Well, I mean, I think that wraps up our shift. Pretty decent little shift this week. Got to talking about some things. Pretty good little pod. Before we get out of here, let's go through what we learned this week. Sling, what did you learn this week?
I learned that I'm never one to be counted out, considering all the slander I got. I don't know where this slander came from, but I was just getting dragged for being 2 points behind in the pick'em, and now we're all even. So I learned that you guys are jackasses, and yeah, I'm really smart. I'm better at Jake than picking. Me and Logan are actually clear of Jake, if you think about it, given the actual correct decisions. So I learned that.
Pretty sure we're tied.
Jake, what did you learn this week?
Really?
I learned it's not the best idea to order online with your debit card. I think that's how they probably got my shit. I learned. I don't know, man. It's really that was
basically it.
that was the
How to
highlight of my weekend, and it was a shitty highlight. So that's basically what I learned. Be careful with your card information, people. It sucks when all your money is fucking gone.
I learned that
the Birmingham Zoo is a bunch of fucking liars, and they'll tell you that you can go ride a camel and feed giraffes, and then none of that will be there.
It's fucked up.
Fucking
False advertisement. You should sue.
I want to see red pandas too. Yeah, they did. They fucking said they
Sue
had
for
red pandas.
emotional
They did see red
distress.
pandas.
I learned that footballers
show.
are not allowed to have any fun with their friends after games, or else they'll feel the wrath of Sling. You can never smile.
I learned that you're a big fucking bitch.
If you smile at all after a loss, then you are just a piece of shit that doesn't care about the club. So yeah, I learned that there's no fun in the game of football unless you win. If you win, winning is everything. I kind of agree with that. Winning is everything, but like I learned that you literally have to be miserable. You have to hate yourself. You have to hate yourself if you lost the game. You can have no fun.
At least everyone had fun. Yay!
Oh god.
All right.
We better get out
Well,
of here.
I had fun this podcast. I hope everyone that listens has fun as well. Thank you, everybody that tuned in for another week. Week number 5. We've made it through a month now
Yes,
of
sir.
potting. And we appreciate all of our concurrent viewers, everyone that tuned in again, everyone that is new around here. We hope you guys found something interesting. Hope you guys enjoyed us shooting the shit, having some fun, and let's plug our social media real quick. It'll be down in the description below as well. You can follow us on Twitter. That's the most important place. At Clueless Yanks on Twitter. We tweet about some Big Six games and then just footballing opinions in general. Interact with us. Give us a follow there. We're also on TikTok. We're going to try and get a little bit more active on that too. We'll post some bloopers and everything from the pod, as well as like our favorite parts from the pod on there. And then we're on YouTube as well, which we will be releasing this podcast too, at Clueless Yanks as well. All platforms, just look up Clueless Yanks. We're on it. On YouTube, we want to in the future to hopefully we'll have a face cam reveal. We'll start doing these podcasts with our face cams, with our webcams on, maybe even do some live podcasts if you guys want to get in there and interact with us during the pod, take some questions and everything. And then as well as we might start doing some match reactions, live match reactions, instant match reviews and stuff like that on the YouTube channel. So anyways, with that being said, wraps up this week's pod. We will be back same day and same time, Monday evening releases here in the U.S., very early morning Tuesday releases in the UK and the rest of Europe. And I appreciate everyone that tuned in this evening.
Yeah. Thanks, y'all.
Sayonara.
Take it easy, everyone.